Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host Mirko and hope you have a beautiful and awesome day today. We're going to continue with our little app that we've started to develop or to further develop. As soon as I did my audio check. Alright, audio seems to be working, video seems to be working too. Great. That's set. We can dive right in. So remember, what we are building was a kind of diary app or journaling app, where every day you get 7 to 9 questions. Default was actually 6 questions, like goals. Did I do my best to set clear goals today? And then you give yourself a number. You evaluate yourself, you look back, today, yeah, when I was starting to code, I didn't really have a plan, but I didn't really try actually, now that I remember, to actually create that kind of plan to have a clear goal while I was programming. But then later, when I was visiting my friends, blah 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 blah. So let's say I give myself a 5, and then you get the next question. You just click on the number, and then you get the next question, and so on. So did I do my best to make progress towards my goal? Let's say, yeah, I did pretty well. This and that happened, and so on. So going through all these questions, giving yourself points. In my case, I have the question, what was my personal highlight? For whatever reason, I do not have a question text there, but that we can easily fix, I think. Questions, default questions, let's say. There should be highlights. There. Question long is not there. My personal highlight today, question mark. Oh, let's put it as a question. What was my personal highlight today and why? There it shows up. Then I say streaming, let's say. One thing I want to do better. Say less auto-completion, autocorrect, say less and then you see a summary and you can share it with pretty much everything, but in my case it's typically WhatsApp because I do it with a friend, and I send him these questions and he sends me those questions. So WhatsApp is actually not WhatsApp, but instead just share. So we might actually want to write not WhatsApp, just write share button. Here we write share or confirm and share. And then there we go. There we go. And that's it. And when we do that, we kind of save the history on disk. So in this case, you completed your dailies once. And if we do it again, we would be able to see a little graph here. So your statistics show up once you've completed at least 2 dailies. So that's one thing that I did off screen. There's about screen a little more with some settings. And in particular, we have this environment production, and I can say now, no, I want to use experimental mode, and then I see, just for us at development here, I can just click this mock history button, and it then creates a fake history, which is just hard-coded right there. Oops. And then it draws it. I can also clear the history, so everything is gone again. that one part I was building yesterday morning. So while doing that, was I doing it yesterday? Did we already, not 100% sure, whether we already inserted Redux yesterday on, the day before yesterday on stream? I think we did, right? I think we did. Yeah. So this also uses Redux. Just a few more action creators and reusers, nothing more. So that said, let's continue where we kind of left off. I think we do have the history. One thing, two things that I want to do. So enable up here, we see, okay, let's say this is doing enable. So up here you can see now it should turn green. Come on. There. Green. So our next goal is enabling and disabling specific questions. So currently we have like 6 questions or something. Yeah, all of these. That's the IDs. The default question, there we go. So the improvement question, the highlight question, the goals question, the progress question, and so on. And so this graph, of course, it does only show numeric values, numeric data. If I cannot draw my highlight in a graph, right? So we only have the numeric values, and I think what I want is kind of have just a list here of which to display for now. Like only show happiness, or maybe a grouping of, or like a radio buttons. Is it radio buttons? No, those are the other ones. Radio buttons are exclusive. It's like a selection of buttons. Is that radio buttons? I always forget which ones are the radio buttons. And radio button versus checkbox. I think we just want checkboxes. Checkboxes allow the user to choose items from a fixed number of alternatives, while radio buttons allow the user to choose exactly one item. Yeah, okay, so we want checkboxes. So let's go into the screen, which is the statistics screen. There we go. And down here, we basically want, well, we still want def mode thingy. Let's say we call this statistics or graph selection. There we go. And then we create that one. Do we already have a folder for? So I want to restructure this slightly. Meaning, instead of having it sorted like screens and components, I want to have slices in the sense of parts of the application, and then maybe something shared for common components. So this would be statistics, and then we call this graph selection.tsx, and then we take a React Native function, not that one, React Native function, this one, no, that's the same one, React Native component, also not, where's the one that I wrote, component, let's see, so settings, no, these are the shortcut snippets, right? Bigger user snippets. I think it's this one. React func props. Yeah, pretty much. React func props. There we go. Graph selection, and we not going to use div because div does not exist. In React Native, our equivalent is view instead in React Native. So in a browser setting, you would write div here. But since we're doing native or React Native mobile development, we have to use view instead. So we put it in kind of a box. That's which we're going to have here, and then we pretty much want a list of for each of the questions, right? Default questions. Actually, the questions probably come from up above. Not sure. That's right. Do we have default questions here, or how do I call you? Questions. Okay. That's one way to call it. Default questions, and then we want to map over all of these, and we have a question and we map it to something. We want to return. Let's, for the time being, let's just put in, yeah, for each question, another view with some text, and text we have to import text from React paper. Can I just write paper? Yes, that works. That should hopefully show up. No, it doesn't, because we didn't save in here. And maybe, just maybe, we go into the navigation app, and for now we set the, I think we can say the default home screen, initial screen, initial route, there we go, statistics. What else? So now whenever we reload the app, we should land instead in the statistics view, which makes things just a little easier. Okay, that seems to have worked. It makes the view a little weird, because we didn't, in the statistics view, we probably use a simple view, not a scroll view instead. A scroll view, or is it scroll view? Suppose it's that one. Yeah, now we can scroll. So if I click and hold, I can scroll down. I can show you a little better if I make this one just larger. Style. Let's say we have a minimum height of 20 pixels. Should hopefully work. No, it doesn't. 200. Yeah. Now I can scroll, as you can see. Okay. Probably don't want that. At least not in that form. What we do want, most likely, is first of all, have something up here. Style. It's styles.container. And we define styles up here as a style sheet.create container, and then it contains something. We have to import style sheet, of course, from React Native. It's just a helper. And we could also just write them, but then they are not static, so it is slightly more aggressive on the memory. This is, at least some people say, this should be the norm way to do it. So outside of the actual function, which gets re-rendered, you define the styles, which are pretty much static. So now it's also typed. That's also a nice way. Although it's not as nicely typed as the specific styles, as you can see. So we have style prop view style here. Up here we don't really have that, unfortunately. Although there might be a way to actually do that. Yeah, there seems to be a way to actually do that. Things I learned today. So, what do we want? We want to have a padding or margin of margin horizontal of, I think, 20. So we just center it. Probably centering won't help us that much. So let's just say 20. Yep. That's slightly better. Then we need so how should this look like? We have the row, we have a checkbox next to it, so let's put in a checkbox. Do you receive anything? Status, yeah, that makes sense. Let's say these are checked for now. Okay. Do I put the text just inside of there? No. No. Let's look at the documentation. R and paper, checkbox. Oh, we have checkboxes and we have checkbox items, huh? So pretty much we want something like this. Yeah, that looks nice. So that's the most basic one. Can I show this one? Checkbox. What is checkbox item? Allows you to press the whole row item instead of only the checkbox. That's what I want. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. That is checked. And then it has a label, which is probably lowercase q.title. Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? So now we have to manage the state somehow. So we somehow have use state. Selected questions. And the state is questions.map. We need to filter out those again that are numeric. We don't want to do it there. Okay. Q maps to q.type is points or numeric. Like so. Now we have the selected questions and we probably want to map. We want to filter here, sorry. Filter. We only take those with points. And then we map it. Q maps to Q ID, Q.ID to probably the title. Q.title and to checked or active or whatever. We say true by default for all of those. And we can say selected questions right there. We can, this is still the same, and the status now becomes Q.checked, mark. Then it's checked, otherwise it is unchecked, I suppose. There you go. That seems to be at least still be working. Yep. And now we have to have on press. What happens if we click one of these? Well, we probably get the change, huh? Oh well, we can make it simpler. So set selected questions. I think we need a complete function here. So we want to set only that one that is relevant and leave everything intact otherwise. Right. We might actually move this higher. Not that I think about it. Yeah, might actually move one level higher into the statistics app because we need to have access to this information to draw this here. So let's see. We say set selected questions off. So let's say these are the new selected questions. That's, first of all, we just copy all of them. Well, but these are not deep copies, right? Which is not ideal. We actually want to make deep copies here, so we don't pass down the same reference. Do we? Wait. I think it might actually work. It might just work. So, and now we change the one that we currently are mapping over. I think we can do a little trick here, because the order does never change, so we can just take the index from the selected questions, and we know that new selected questions at position I is the one that we want, and we say, well, set this one to be selected questions at position I, and set checked to true, to not the one that it was before. Ah, we can even do .q, huh? Because we are exactly at q currently. So this should work as well. Let's see. Seems to be working. Nice. Good job, us. Have some tea. And if you have questions, feel free to join in. Say hello. What is this about, for example? Or what is the meaning of life? It's 42. Well, at least the answer is 2. Question is, what is the question? So this seems to be working fine. Now we have to somehow move the state so that this graph can actually access the data from down here. I don't need you, I don't need you, and you. Shall we just move it up here? I mean, that works at least. Yeah, I suppose we can just do that, right? I suppose we can just do that. So put it up here. Come on. Then we need to pass those down to graph selection. Set selected questions. So this is now, how do you look like? Something like that. This is a string. Title is a string as well, and checked is a boolean. And then we have set selected questions. Set selected questions, which receives nothing, returns nothing. Oh, it does. Yes, it does receive something. Which is, this needs to be an array. And then we might as well pull this one out into a type. You receive a question array. Then we can just change this one up here using a destructuring and set selected questions, and this makes our graph selection work again. And I think here we just have to click the save button and it should work. Maybe. What doesn't? Let's refresh just to be sure. Oh. Interesting. Each child should have a unique key. Yes, you're right. But other than that, it seems to be working. So the key being just there, so the warning that we got there, just being there so that React Native in this case actually knows which one of these items to actually change. Might as well have to use this here as well. Do we? Yeah, I think we do. Do we? No, we don't. Because they're static. These ones are not static. But these ones are. So another try. Did it crash again? $$s. Maybe we do need it. Is that better? You like that? Done? Are we done? Wow, this takes a long time. Okay, interesting. Question IDs with number values. I think here we can we need to adjust the logic now slightly. Which means I think here we just need to have selected questions. Dot map q maps to q.id, because up here we this is a string array, an ID array, or question IDs, and I think it should do it, or we just do it like this. There we go. Do you disappear now? No, you don't. So what should happen now is, since we have to still filter for all those that are actually checked. So this one changes. So these are now the checked question IDs to display. If we do the following, we filter by checkedness. Q maps to q.checked. When they are checked, then map them to the ID. And so, yeah, it works. Whoop, whoop. Apparently we still have a lot of stuff. Oh, it must not be empty. Apparently it must not be empty. It must not be empty, I suppose. The problem is up here, actually. The problem is actually up here. So the restriction that we run into is that the chart library does not allow us to have empty data sets. And the data sets, however, depends on which questions we have actually selected. Can I reload? Miss, minimize, reload. Come on, you can do it. Hopefully he doesn't save the state. He shouldn't. Yeah. So the graph selection component manages actually the setting. But since the state is actually needed one level higher in the statistics screen, because this display needs it to say that, well, for example, this graph here with this color should not be displayed. If we deselect all of these, the charting library does not like it. So the problem is actually not one on the level of the graph selection, but instead a technical one on the higher level. So the solution is not completely obvious. If we put it inside of graph selection, the problem is that, well, you have some logic here that actually is highly dependent on this code, which is not ideal. Kind of get crisscross, and people, since this is open source software, somebody might actually try to look at it, and then having to think this crisscross will not work. That's why I'm thinking about maybe we just don't display the line chart in case that this list is actually empty. So in the shortest way to write this is that, well, this one has to be greater than the 0. This question ID is to display. Then display the line chart for me. It's not ideal. For the time being, it should do the trick. Takes a long time. Wow. There we go. And maybe we write it at least slightly better. Or so we say we get some text, let's say please, or paragraph. Not actually show what the difference in React Native paper is between text and paragraph. I should look that up. Please select at least one question to display. Wow, that looks terrible. Yeah. So, what are you guys working on? Say hello in the chat. You're there. I'm always interested in these kind of things to see what people are up to and also to learn on my front. So the reason why I'm looking, by the way, to the left is because my screen with the chat is up here. Okay. So that seems to be working more or less. More or less. It looks terrible. It looks very, very terrible though. Is there some text even up there? It seems to be. Oh, probably this one up here. Interesting. Is there an expo library? I think there was, right? To check the height of the status bar. Expo status bar height. Ah, I think this problem is only visible here on the preview, not in the actual app. If I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it is problematic here as well. Oops. No history yet. Damn it. That's an old version. Let us update that version, but just restarting. Yeah, now we're in the newer version. And we can put in the mock history. No, it's broken here as well. So let's write that on the to do status bar height. Respect status bar height. Suppose we need that one. Right. One thing to do later. So let's get back to our actual app, which is this one. We have like a warning or something. Info. Native paper. Info. Box. Boom. Warning box. Ah, that's not it. I don't want an alert. Otherwise we just have to use some CSS here. So margin 20 is our standard number. Margin horizontal. They have to wrap everything in an object, otherwise it won't work. What does it look like if we put everything in this kind of an offset? It takes a lot of screen space, unfortunately. So let's not do that for the chart. Although we might be able to offset it again. Kind of going into the minus margin, and then it displays properly again. Whatever reason my music stopped. This is starting to get together, at least. After time, you hopefully see some degree of movement there. One more thing that comes to mind is last week, 30 days, last year, 1 year, and chart with lengths. One more thing that I want to add. Okay. Does it still work if I do this? Yeah, it still works. Perfect. All right, let's leave it as is. It suffices, let's say. It's not ideal. It should just be larger. Maybe we can just use the text weight. Is it not weight? Font weight. That's it. Bold. And font size to be 200%. Can I actually write that in percent? No. String can be casted to double. All right. The fonts. I want to make this more prominent, because currently it's like you click here, it's frozen. Frozen. Yeah, so you deselect all of these. And well, while it gets removed, this is still very, very small to see. So maybe we can make it slightly more obvious. icons, image, button, icon equals something, something. And just show a picture. Banner. Is it a banner? No. Hide banner, show banner. Oh, that one. That looks good. Place a prominent message and related action. Uh-huh. That sounds good. Didn't know this kind of thing existed. That visible. Let's take that one and put it inside of sticks. Something with banner. .tsx. Warning banner. Those as well. Fix it. So let's see. One day in interface props again. Say we have a functional component with props here. Nope. There. And then we have visible. Visible needs to be handled from outside, most likely. Visible. Structure this and put it up there. This is a Boolean. The default should be false. So I don't think we need that. And then we have on press here. On press, which is a function which maps to void. And then something like, well, activate all of them. Clear filter, show all. Display all. Icon. Okay. Not sure why we should use this image. That's not the image, right? that wasn't the image that we were seeing. Well. Well. On this one, the warning banner. We have to also throw that one out, export default. So. And now. Can I not like have a regular image? When you do have icons, right? Icon. Figuring icons. Do I not have like an icon component? Only buttons? Icon. React Native paper. Icon button. Icon size, list icon. These are all internal. React Native paper icon component. That's where we were just now, right? Ah, because you write them as like font awesome, for example. Oh, there's Expo icons. Now I remember. Expo icons. Icons. Is that it? These days, not every app has to use emoji for all icons. Maybe you want to put in a popular set. Ah. How do I put in icons again? Can't be that hard, right? Do I have this installed? Probably not. Icon? No. App icon. No, that's a different one. Me is confused. If you remember how to do it, please tell me. In the meantime, I try to find out how I did it in the last app. Ah, that's the wrong one. That's my GitHub. GitHub Pro Singularity. Somewhere inside of this should have used an icon. I would expect, at least. Maybe icon. Maybe. Come on. No icon. Not at all. Tab icon. Yeah. Font awesome. Expo vector icons. Alright. So that's how I did it. Well, then let's add that one. Yarn Expo install Expo vector icons. Done. Is that it? Or is there any additional steps to reduce bundle size? Nope. G library is installed by the default template. Custom. Create icon set. Blah 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 blah. Icon images. Button component. Okay. Nothing on that front. Instead, do the following. Put this one here. We put size here. Okay, name is not defined. That makes sense. Warning, maybe. Hope that's a thing. Oh yeah, it's typed. Nice. Color. We take care of that later. Does that work? Tell me whether you work. I think we didn't include it, right? Yeah. This is probably not the text that we want. Take that one. And now we can use the warning banner right there. Bams. Visible and on press. Visible is equal to nothing. No questions selected. And on press, we want to have select all questions. Let's start with this one. Select all, whoops. Select all questions is a function which maps to essentially the stuff that we had here. Where is it? Oh, want to step inside of there. This one. I think we can just copy the one that we had before. The one that initially selects. Yeah, this one. Right? I think we do. I will create a separate function for this, actually. Then we don't have to redefine it. There we go. Save. Done. So that's that part. And the other part is, why are you broken? Oh, we have to return this. That's better. Another one. No question selected. Yeah. So history is too short. That's one case, and the other one is selected questions. No, that's the wrong one. Question IDs to display. The length is 0. So it's what we're working on. And I think that's it. So we can deselect now. We get this prominent message. Perfect. Please select at least one question to display. Display all. It doesn't work. Oops, not working. Because we do not set. So this is more get all questions selected. It didn't work for whatever reason. And then that all questions selected. You've done this React. First of all, tough meow. Meow. How are you doing? Bro, I've done React. What resource can you suggest to learn React Native? It probably depends on what kind of technologies you've used. Let's say if you want the quick start, I personally recommend expo.dev, because it just gives you a complete set to run an app immediately, pretty much. It's like 6 commands or something. Oh no, why are you giving me... That wasn't there before. Where's the quick start guide? Get started. Yeah, pretty much you do this and then you say start. You scan a QR code. Where is it? There it is. And then you have it run on your phone, pretty much. Or if you have an emulator already running, because you have used Flutter, you say, you just, I think you hit the A button, and then it opens it on your mobile, on your emulator, installing the app that it needs to. And that's running. So an Expo is built on top of React Native. It still abstracts away quite a bit, I think. If you want the pure React Native experience, where you actually have to fiddle around with some Java files also, and Java configuration files like XMLs, not stuff that I want to do personally, then you can also start I suppose, just the regular React Native quick start guide. But I don't know on that front. I would just start here, let's say it like that. And then build your first project. You don't seem to be a beginner, having worked with React and Flutter. So I trust that you're able to to work yourself through these. And it's not that similar. Sorry, it's not that different from React, not at all. You write view instead of div. Done. Kind of. Yeah. But Expo is, I think, if you're working on a personal project, I think it's a great way, giving you a lot of possibilities with little setup. Not none, of course. You still have to have a phone and the Expo Go app. That's what they call it. Expo Go. If you're running it actually on your phone, you need the Expo Go app. Where is it? I think I have it installed. Yeah, looks like something like this. And at some point it starts up, and then you can select your projects, and then they start up just like here. So this is actually running running the app now that we're developing. And you also get hot reloads and all of that stuff on your phone then, if you don't want to use an emulator. Yeah, so that's if you want to go with your phone. And if you don't have set up an emulator, I actually recommend that part, because you probably have a phone. And other than that, Expo is a great resource. Not to shift expectations too much. Expo does some things differently mostly in order to simplify. While React Native is more the bare bones kind of. Instead of writing C, you're writing assembler. Not that much, not that hard probably, but still a level lower at least. Yep, thanks for the question. Meow. I'm interested in Flutter actually, but I haven't gotten around to actually use it. It looks Amazing. Amazing. In particular, it all has, apparently at least, fairly great. Yeah. Not sure whether I it's probably something that you need to get used to because it looks very Java-esque, to be honest. The docs are great for Flutter. It's easy to learn. You can learn it in a week. Okay. The basics probably. And then learning the ecosystem. It's just like Swift UI. Like, was it JavaScript? Probably not that one, right? Because that is like so old. I mean, by now it might have actually... It might actually probably look great. Yeah, this is not bad. Not bad at all. But I do remember when I was writing it, it was more like Swift UI as in for iOS. I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I haven't done any iOS. I've never actually possessed an iPhone. Oh yeah, that looks like absolutely identical compared to this scaffold. The indentions are different. In JS, they apparently use only 2. Yeah. And it's also amazingly typed as far as I know. And actually, I like Google better than Facebook, so yeah. Maybe at some point I will get into it. But I'm comfortable currently with Expo. You know, once you're comfortable with something, switching to something completely different to a new approach can be a challenge. But most of the time it's worth checking out, if not just for the experience and seeing, oh, you can do things like that as well. Oh, interesting. Maybe I can incorporate some ideas of that. Like if you're only in object-oriented programming, maybe it helps to just look into functional programming just to see the principles, right? Let's finish this function here. So I want to select all the questions. And in this case, sorry, this needs to be a function with, I want to essentially set selected questions, and I do get all selected questions again. And that's it. And for whatever reason, okay. How do I call that? Set all questions. Select all questions. Okay. I call it like that. Let's see whether that works. So we can, our graph changes as we activate and deactivate. You can probably see. That's still working great. And now we see this prominent message. Please select at least one question to display. To be honest, I would like this to be larger, just from the font size here. But yeah, maybe we can do that at some point. Display all. There we go. Sweet, we did it. That's worth an H. F. 5. Oh, the tea that you can drink and more. Good job. So you're a cat person, tough meow? I assume. Because I am. Very, very much. Although I do not possess it. Well, I do not. You don't own a cat, right? You are owned by the cat. I am not, unfortunately, owned by a cat. Due to traveling too much. You probably know, but in Japanese they say nya. Or written like that. Yeah. So the other day I was seeing a Nya meme. But I probably don't find that. And if I look for Nya and meme, I probably get something that's not safe for work. No. Whoa, we see a lot of emojis. Tough Meow joined our tea time. Welcome, welcome. This tea is for you. It's green tea at this point. I can put in some cat grass. Cheers. Welcome to the crew. New meme. Oh, it's actually there. I found it. Image address. Like, oh, they look different. That's not the one that I was looking at. Like, you know, Nya? What? Nya. Stop it. It's not the one that I was seeing, but it was very, very similar. The other one was actually slightly better. I think we're done on that front. We have our list. We can deselect. We get a warning once we've deselected too many of them. We can revert that. That's definitely something that we can commit. It's definitely a feature. And by now I actually want to say like version 1.4. At least in our internal versioning. This is not the versioning. So there are multiple versions in here. One thing to wrap your head around. On the one hand, it might be actually similar with Flutter. On the one hand, you have the JavaScript code, which runs then on the phone. But on the other hand, you actually have the Java or the Kotlin code, which is installed exactly on the phone and which has a version in itself. And then once you start up that app, it pulls the JavaScript from somewhere and then runs that JavaScript. So you can just update the JavaScript code very, very quickly without actually having to change the installed devices on your customers, the installed apps on your customer device, which is a large saver in time. I think it's called, at least Expo calls it over-the-air updates, OTA updates. So this is the feature, and we can now, it's part of stats, that's what I call it. And it is, we can select individual questions for graphing. Plotting. Graph plotting. That's cool. Yeah, I suppose they, at least multiple services support this. Oh, I missed that one. Git fix. No, I didn't want to stop the server. Fix. There we go. Git fix is not an official thing. What I'm actually doing is git commit -- amend -- no edit, I think. And this should update at some point. Yeah, thank you. And I just have an alias for this as git fix because I'm using it a lot. So that's done. I think we can we check that thing that we have up here? Enable, disable only specific questions in timeline / chart. I think that's so ito. Move some stuff here. This one is done. Let's do, oh no, I don't, I want the respect status bar height. That's That's annoying me at least. Refresh to-dos. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, so respect status bar height is what we want, because as you can see up here, or better, you cannot see it. It actually says goals up there, because in the stats screen, the first thing that we render is actually a bit of text, which says goals in this case, because questions at 0 is the goals questions. But it does not respect this, the status bar, which is freaking me out. And in fact, so I was hoping that that's only because of the Expo emulator, so we have an emulator inside of an emulator. But it's actually also in the actual app. Ah, by the way, so to show you the over-the-air update, this is an actual installed app here, the Daily Questions app, version something. Shouldn't this be displayed here? Yeah, 1.1 apparently. On an Android level, but, and if I go inside, I see about page, it says 1.3 currently. The app that we are developing currently is at version 1.4, and if I do, let's see, this Expo publish, or in my case it's this shortcut yarn deploy OTA prod over the air. It's now bundling everything, putting it on a server, and as soon as I restart the app, you can also control it differently, but the simple case is the installed app. That's the important part. As soon as I restart the installed app, it pulls the JavaScript, the newest version, and then displays that one. So we are now doing a release, an actual production release. Not that I have many users besides myself, because this is an app that I developed specifically for my personal use case. But we're currently doing a production release. And as soon as it has bundled and uploaded it, it will actually be visible on our installation. Also on my phone in particular. So currently I do not have enough dailies. Currently I'm on 1.3. Is that visible? Somewhere there it says 1.3. Uploading, and that's the release done. We do have to close the app once. It's visible. Cool. And now, if do it once more. You can do it, my friend. Ah. Yeah, I actually forgot to change the initial screen. So this is the newest version, 1.4 now. And if I do that on my phone, so I'm closing the app, restarting it, and maybe I have to restart it again. Yeah, I do. Again, this can be, if you're in a better setup, this can be done more reliably than manually. But now it says 1.4. And yeah, unfortunately, I do not have enough dailies because I messed up my history yesterday, so I had to throw that out again, which means I do not have any statistics. I only have one entry. I could do, well, no, yeah, but that's the over-the-air update, OTA. Very, very useful, as I find. You gotta be, in a production environment, you gotta be slightly careful, of course. So they split it in what they call channels, like environments, production, and more, development, staging, or testing, and so on. So you got to be careful of which one you actually deploy to, of course. And so far there was a problem with when you actually have an old app version, it still tried to download the newest JavaScript, so your app might not actually match the stuff that was on like the actual Android app, because some things you cannot, they have to be done on operating system level. There might have been a mismatch between the code that is on operating system level versus the code that was in the JavaScript. But they are about to fix that, I think. Yeah, and it's currently in preview as far as I remember. It's called EAS, Expo Vacation Service? I don't know what the A stands for. So then you can pretty much, you have a link between your app version and the allowed JavaScript versions, and as well as channels. So there's a bit more managerial stuff, but you're safe that your users actually always have a running version, if I understand that correctly. So now we want to have this respect status bar height, and I was looking at this status bar component to control the app status bar. It's possible to have multiple status bar components mounted at the same time. Blah blah blah. So all I want is to have the current height. There we go. The height of the status bar, which includes the notch height, if present. What is a notch in this case? This part? Yeah, I don't know. And then we just shift all of our viewport basically by these few pixels. Do we have to actually install something? No, we can just use status bar dot height, huh? Oh, give me that. Go to the statistics screen first of all, so we can do style, and we put in margin top, current height, status bar from, oh, there's also something from React, current height, might be undefined. Did that work? I don't think we have I think the app was out of sync with our server. They weren't connected. Hey, that works. Sweet, that was easy. It would be nice to have this like globally. So instead of putting it inside of here, I think what we are going to do is to go into, what's the topmost? Navigation app, apparently. Let's put a view up here. So I don't have to do it on an individual level. So I would have done it on each screen, which is probably not what we want. Or can we do it inside of here? Screen options. Do we have a style in here? No, we don't. Do we have a style in here? No, we don't. Yeah. So my only option would be to do it inside of here, or put this one inside of view, but then I'll just put this one here. And to be proper, let's call this one style sheet.create. so it does some more optimization on that front. Inspect the status bar. Respect status bar. Start container. And it's gone. Reload. So I was just hitting R inside of here. That didn't seem to work. Remove it. Does it work again? Oh, I didn't save in here. This works. Apparently it doesn't like it when I put it inside of there. So that's not the problem. This might actually be dynamic. So we cannot do it inside of here. That's the problem. Hopefully that's the problem. It is not. Do we have to do it on every single one? RN navigation wrapper. The navigators. View around navigation. We do have a theme here. What is that like? Just colors. Do you have anything else that's useful? Ref on ready, independent initial state. Theme key. That's not what we need. Was it screen options maybe? Style? Nope. Drawer style. Header style. Theme container style. Maybe that one? Ah, it's an object. Was it? Margin top is status bar dot current height. Yay, that works. Okay. Respect. And it should now have applied this to all the other screens as well, which we don't see because, well, they are centered. Not like this one. Respect status bar. Okay, so can throw out this dude. We can, yeah, take that one and that one, and then we have a, I would say it's a fix, and it's global. So although it was only visible in stats, so let's say it's part of stats, I suppose. And we need to change the initial route here. that's the second one. What do we want to fix? What did we fix? The respect the status bar. And then we do another fix, which is dailies. Fix. Let's do actually a version bump here. Fix nav. Initial route should be the dailies. And now we're good. And things work again. Sweet. Swedish. That's it. We can move this one to the done column. Yay, done column. Let me check the clock quickly. Yeah. 12:20. I do want to do the dark mode, to be honest. At least beginning the dark mode. The dark mode. And I think that the simplest one is we just say dark theme. Okay, so that's how it looks like. But there's surface in. Oh, there's surface, basic container. Maybe. Do we have to wrap everything in a surface? So we're using React Native Paper, which is essentially Material UI. So React Native Paper. You've been seeing me here in the documentation. They don't even have a logo up here. Which is rare, I would say the least. But here you can see it, React Native Paper. Interesting that they don't have a logo, right? That's something you don't see often. But if we're lucky, we can just wrap everything in the surface. And we also have to wrap it down here. And does that help? Yes, it does. Look at it. And then, well, let's do the same thing for the other guys. Something with screen, about screen, for example. So instead of using a view, we can, I think, just use a surface instead. Does that work? Oh. Well, almost. I think we have to actually wrap it outside because the view here does have some different sizes. Yeah, it has a margin and stuff. I'm in the wrong. Yeah, that looks all right. The alternative would be to have, I think we can just use this, but use instead padding right there. Right? That should work. Because the padding is from inside now. Was this white before? I actually don't remember. If you remember, please tell me. So that's another one. Another one. And then we need the daily navigation. What did I call that one? You need the summary screen. No, we need the navigation. Just the questions nav app. And currently the order is terrible. So I do have the questions up here. Something is down here and something is there. And this one also belongs to that one and this one, and actually they should all be moved inside of there. And I will do that in just a minute, I think. So style container, one uses padding. Content container style. Maybe we have to shift the content container style ever so slightly. Indeed. Let's move. Style. That didn't work. Why not? You only define the padding. I mean, you can also invert it, right? Can we? I think we can. Put the surface outside. Oh, I'm on the summary screen, jeez. Jeez Louise. Of course it won't work if you're on the wrong screen. Questions nav. So instead of using view up here, I think we just replace this with a surface. Install it. Save. And we're back. We're good. Dark mode done. In the very basic form. We still have to. We still have to have something so you can actually pick, which is, I suppose, part of about or settings. Oh, I actually like it. Oh, the drawer is different. The navigation drawer does not respect the colors. Navigation does not respect colors, so let's make it respect some colors. Which means you probably have to have like a theme, and we take dark theme. No, not working. Const use theme. Const theme equals use theme from React Native paper. And then it's probably missing some properties, unfortunately. Everything. Colors. Theme dot colors dot. Okay. Dot. So now try. So we have two themes in our app. One comes from React Native paper, and one comes from the navigation library, React Navigation. And they do use slightly different notation, apparently. So we kind of have to map the one that we actually want to use, which is React Native paper, down to the navigation theme. And that's what I'm currently doing. Card is probably theme dot colors dot surface, and then we have, oh, that's probably background, right? The surface. Was it the same? Not sure. Do we gain anything by doing this? Primary is theme.colors.primary. Then the next one being the border, theme.colors. Do we have border? We have backdrop. Placeholder, navigation, notification. I don't know, backdrop maybe? Notification, theme.colors. Text dot primary. I don't know what notification is in this case. Then we have text, theme.colors.text most likely. So that's one part of the theme. Then we have dark. That's just the same. Ah, okay. Theme dot dark, whether it's dark or not. Okay, what does that look like? Not too terrible, but it is too dark actually. It actually is too dark. Oh, is that alright? I suppose it is, right? Probably backdrop is wrong. Is backdrop wrong? Do we have border? No, we don't have border. Can we do background? We have to fiddle around with this a little. Which one is which is the big question. Let's take primary for just a second to see which one takes which color. So this apparently is not a card. We might be able to find out also with the inspection here. Draw navigation app. Scroll view. See? No, we don't. Network performance touchables. No. That didn't quite do what we want. Which one is this? Okay, so this one is actually card, apparently. We do this in backdrop. Oh, that's backdrop. That's actually not too terrible, right? I like it, actually. I like it. And the background is blue. Blue on blue might be a bit of a problem. Just put yellow here. That didn't work. Do we not have background at all? Theme.colors. What can I do, like hashtag? It says, are the F's white or black? I always forget. I think F is white, right? So F. I don't think we have any form of background here. But I do like this. I think we stick with it. Yeah, that's what we do. Background, I don't know, theme.colors.surface, let's take it. Oh, background. Background is probably more reasonable. I think we could just read about which one takes which, but I'm lazy right now. Okay. And then there's one more thing, which is the status bar background color. Expo status bar dark theme or dark mode. Oh, wait, that comes from the operating system, right? If we find the settings, come on, dark theme on. Yes, do it. Wow, that's very dark. Oh, this one actually makes it white again. Oh. Why? Why would you do that? How does it look in the actual app? It's also white. Okay. So it comes from Expo apparently. And we have to actually change it. Did I break it? I think I broke it. There it is. So Expo status bar, and then we just say style order. Automatic theme detection is only supported in 38 and higher. Yeah, okay. Oh, interesting. Factoring the status bar in with your layout. That's the problem that we had like 10 minutes or 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. We're likely to encounter cases where you will need to manually adjust the layout and they use React Native saved area context. Okay. Well, our solution works too. So, is Expo status bar an own NPM package? It is apparently. Okay. Well, then install that Expo, install Expo status bar. And now, what do we do with it? Let's put it here. Both use effect. Give it a function which does the following. It called the function status bar dot set bar style, I suppose. Set background color. Which one was it? Android status bar. Set star status bar style. Not existent. You don't exist. Why not? Status bar. Oh, okay. We have status bar now. Twice. That's why. Expose status bar. Expose status bar. Dot. Do we not have any types? Comment that will allow you to configure your status bar without directly calling. So we... But I do want to call directly. I'm reading this text. Component is built on top of. It's a component, so we would do something like this apparently. But probably more in inside of here. We do something like this. Style imported. There was a wrong import. Status bar. Status bar, and now we can say style auto. Service up. Hey. Not working. Oops. Not working. Why you cannot react to connect to Metro? Come on, you can do it. We're about done here. Just this tiny little not working. Okay, give me 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, I'll be right back. And back we are. Back indeed. So as we can see, it's still not working. It's still not working. Hmm. 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 Hidden. Does this work? Hidden. Right. The shortcut for hidden, true. Where's my simulator? Interesting. Oh, I think I get it. Maybe. It seems like our application is actually not going up to there. Which might be due to some margin that we included a few moments ago. Where did we put that again? Yeah. Heading. Top. Look at that. In other words, it was working all the time, I think. Meaning, if we remove this again, oh, what is happening? Now we have double padding. Huh. Now I'm confused. That one seems to be alright. But why? Why does it work now? I have questions. Why do you work? Tell me. Oh, is it the surface? It actually already has a degree of padding inside of it. Also, we don't need this, apparently. Now I'm more confused. What has happened? Ah, now the background color actually comes from here. If I'm not mistaken. Which means we can remove it from all the other ones, huh? That's cool. We can just use view here. Yeah. That seems to be the case indeed. Cool. Then, well, let's get back to view instead of surface. Wait. Something is wrong. View. View. There we go. Okay. That it seems to be fine. For whatever reason, it doesn't close the thing sometimes. But it seems to be good. We seem to be all set. This one looks good, this one looks good, this one looks great as well. So, did we even need the one from the other thing? I don't think we did, right? We don't need this padding anymore. Never ever again. This can just stay the way it is. Because it doesn't depend on whether we use dark or the other theme. All we have to do now, I think, is switch themes. Here's another padding. Ah, that's the padding in this direction, particularly. That one's fine. We don't need the status bar, apparently. One thing that confuses me is that didn't we like install it? Status bar. 3 days ago. Did I add that? Apparently I did. Although I don't remember that I did. Well, whatever works. It's just a text change apparently. And now all we need to do to change the theme is to switch it here. Bams. Where? Bams, come on. Or maybe not. This one should have updated, shouldn't it? I think it should. So navigation is not updating for whatever reason. But if we reload the app, it still hasn't updated. Navigation app, theme. Why does it get the wrong theme here? The dark theme works fine, but the light theme is now broken, unfortunately. There. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Oh no, it doesn't anymore. Why? Darn. Damn it. Damn it. Navigation app. We need to go back. There we go. From there. And now it works again. Weirdly enough. Okay. So this one is apparently necessary. don't do that. For the dark theme. So I'm not sure why. And surface primary accent. I'm not sure why this is still blackish. Particularly even if we reload the app. So in this case it's not a reload problem. But in fact the theme broken. So if we go to navigation app again. Card, this is backdrop currently. So baby backdrop does not work and it needs to be background. Yes, it does. What we can do here is, if this is the dark theme, use the backdrop. Otherwise, use colors.background instead. That should solve that problem. Not the most elegant way, but it's still somewhat extendable. So we go to our app and we switch the dark theme once more. Dark theme. It looks good. Look at it. It looks good. Looks good. Looks good too. Is the black different? No, no. No. No, it's the same black. Great. Okay. So now we can just switch it using this. That's good. In fact, I will just do a git fix quickly here. Now we have that one. And with that, let me check the time. We would be able to put in a switch. So inside of the about screen, we put in a switch dark mode. Actually, I can just copy all of that because I'm lazy. Am I lazy? Settings, settings row. A bit too complicated. I think we can do this simpler by just using checkbox.item. Then we give it a label, which is dark mode. And we call checked, right? Status, sorry. That one's checked. And I think we do have to extract this into a separate thing after all. So this is dark mode switch. Oh, we can use a switch instead of a checkbox, huh? Yeah. About is actually settings. So ESX React func. This is a view instead of a div. Import you, throw you away. We do have a switch component if I'm not mistaken. Although it was slightly buggy last time I've used it. And we need a... Do we need use state? No, we don't need use state. Well, let's use state for the beginning. Dark. That dark mode. Use state for true. False. The value should be dark, and on change, or on switch, on change, on touch. Change. We do set dark mode of not dark. Not dark. Do we have some text or something that we can use? Is there a nice way to do that? Value. I would like them to just enable these and not just show pictures. And instead you can just click on it and then you see the code. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is. Okay. Flag status style. Flags direction. Otherwise we can just use line items. Flags straight center stretch. I think. And we need a sub header or something, subheading maybe. Dark mode. Maybe self closing. What does that look like? Terrible. The subheading not work. Headline. You know what? I just make this into a switch, into a checkbox. Dot. Because I'm lazy, and I don't really mind that it's not like it's not a switch. I don't mind if it's not a switch. Label is dark mode, and we say checked is equal to the value dark question mark. Well, if it's dark, then say status. If it's dark, then you say it's checked, otherwise it's unchecked. There we go. And then on press, apparently we do something like that. Yeah, great. Doesn't have to look perfect right now, just has to work. So that's one part, and now comes the fun part. We use Redux. Settings, slice. I want another part of the state here, and we say this is dark mode, which is false in the beginning. And then we say set dark mode. We get the state, we get an action, which has a Boolean value inside of it. And then we just say state.darkMode is the payload. There we go. So our new state, setting state, looks like dev mode and dark mode. Dev mode being like additional functionality, like mocking and so on. Buttons for that stuff will be displayed, clearing your history and stuff. So, and from there, we can actually set dark mode. We need to export it. And instead of using this here, we now get those from outside. I don't have this stuff ready yet. So all of this terrible code needs to come here. Get the root state. What we want is instead the dark mode. Call it dark. We have as a dispatch in Redux. So this is some Redux code. State being, well, the actual state. What's the current status of your application and the variable values and so on. And dispatch being a way to say, okay, now change something to some basic location, and this person then, or the functionality, then takes care to change the state in a very controlled manner. So these are called the reducers. And here we want the set dark mode. We need to import it. Probes from Redux. Dark. And set dark mode. Set dark mode. Whoops. I think that's it. Why is there space? Set dark mode is not a function. Why not? Because we forgot to call connector of this one. Connector being this function here that now has basically all the context from Redux, and now it's by connecting it actually it injects all these properties. It's coming along. As you can see, we're now doing fun stuff like a dark mode. That seems to be working. And now, the cool thing we can do now is go into this one up here. We need to have one more high-level component, I think, to actually switch this theme here, depending on whether we have activated the dark theme or not. Yeah. And welcome back, Jamie. How are you doing today? So, as you can see, it's getting there. We can now also, so maybe you remember, we drew all these graphs yesterday, or the day before yesterday, huh? And now we can enable them individually or disable them. So if you only want to see the way you evaluate yourself in improvement, you can do that. And if you select none, well, you get this warning. Please select at least one question to display. Okay, let's do it. Select all again. So that's what we've been doing today, as well as some changes now to the, well, adding a dark theme. Because, why? Dark themes are cool. They're cool, they look great, and they are actually great for your battery. And that means it's good for the climate and stuff. That's the steps. So, dark mode. I can click now here. This environment button is also new, I think. You haven't seen that. Because I did that yesterday morning on my own. You didn't see the graphs? Oh, that was the interesting part. Dark theme on everything. Yeah. Sometimes I'm having trouble, unfortunately, because my eyes are not that great to see things on my phone. Or here, for example, the contrasts are very low, but for import and const and return, even if, in particular, if I look here on my second screen, it doesn't have that gray a color. And everything actually looks different. If I just move my windows to the second screen, things start to actually look different, which at one point actually became a problem because I was coding and we didn't have a designer. So for that component, I chose colors and all of that stuff. And on my screen, it looked okay. But on another person's screen who had a Mac, and Macs are great in displaying colors. I mean, it looked totally different and it totally sucked. Meaning I'm not a designer and my setup is not designed to be a designer, I think. Get a designer. A designer is worth it most of the time. So, I can click this button and it's actually changing the global state. What we need now is a kind of wrapper. Oops, no, not a complete new. Where do we actually put this? Into settings? Let's do it here. Themed app.tsx. So this is just a higher order function. So reactive func props, webamps, themed app. And it receives children, which is a React node, I think, or element or null. I think it's this. We do receive children. Can I actually remove this? I might be able to do so. And then all we do is we take this part here and put it inside of there. Paper provider. And then we render the children inside of this. And we say save. And then we... Come on. No, don't remove the braces. No, don't remove the braces. Where's my provider? Yeah. So. And now we pick the theme depending on the variable state. So let's see. We do again the Redux stuff here. We do need the Redux stuff again. So import all the fun stuff, the root state, and then dark is exactly, so Redux being a state management library, we kind of have a global object that handles all, or at least all the global state, all the state that is used everywhere. And theming is one thing. Because we change it somewhere down below in some setting, and then it affects everything. Everything changes its color and so on. So what we now do, we have a very, very high level global store. As you can see in the app, the root level thing, it's the first thing that actually happens here. We have the store, the Redux store. So the status or the logic is actually pretty much there in this place, and then comes all the rendering. In a sense, it's model view control to a degree, with the logic being, the controls being independent from the actual display. And then, so this one can now pass properties down to the other ones, and that's exactly what we're doing. But now we do that with the help of themed app. Themed app. And we pass to it the dark mode. And the way we pass it is with this connect function and all of this magic stuff that happens here. That's just the Redux, or React Redux at least, way to do things. Now we should be able to say, if dark, then use that one, otherwise use the light theme. We do need, of course, to destructure property. Dark theme is not there. Import it. Don't need you. Do you work? No, you don't. Can't find variable paper provider. There it is. Oh, themed app is not imported, huh? It's expects type never, which requires multiple children. Huh. Do we need this? This JSX tags children prop expects type never. I want only one. How can I pass only one? Ah. Array? No. Why do you have an interface like this? This one looks more reasonable, to be honest. I do remember there was a bug on that front. Should be just a React node, shouldn't it? Do I have to reload? No, it's still erroring. Do we have some help? Did you have a great day yesterday, Jamie? A nice Sunday? So it does display. And it's actually working. Why is it complaining? JX text children prop expects type never. I only want a single one. Cannot have a single one. Do I have React 18? 17. That's good. Was FC the wrong one? Functional component. Status component. How did I do it in the other? Come on. It's not the first time that I'm writing this, right? Themed app. Something like that. Theme provider. Children. React Node. FC prop. That's what I did. I did make a typo in the file name though. This one works, but it also doesn't have types currently. And it's also running on an older version, a way older version. Why do you work? Reload to reconnect. app.tsx. Man. But it doesn't even seem to be a problem. TS. Let's run the compiler and see whether there's an actual problem. There is. Prop expects type never. That doesn't even make sense, right? This JSX text children prop expects type never. Oh, because I'm probably overriding it with React Node instead of JSX dot element or JSX dot element array. Is that it? Because I was overriding it with the help of React Node or something. It might have to try to unite both types, and then it says, oh, none of these match. But no, that's not it. React child is deprecated. Man. They use this one. I think that's what we did right now, right? Do you work? Come on. Orc. That's the inverse of what we have. That's that one. That's the inverse, yeah, and that makes sense because I have React JSX element. Better solution would be to use React Node, which is what we did at the very beginning, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, look at that. This one is never. Why are you never? Oh, and then I unite never with something, which means this becomes never. I do think I need this anyway. Yeah, so now children is fine. Okay, so the problem wasn't with children. If I'm not mistaken. React node. I think now that should be okay. Yeah. That one is okay. Why do you not work anymore? It's dark. Map state maps to that one. Did that change something? Does indeed. Isn't it end? Okay. Now we got it. Apparently you're not allowed to write null here, huh? But I can just write this and it still works. Okay. Oh. Okay. I think that's it. No app connected. AppScript works. App, please work. Okay, looking okay. About, and will it work now? Yes, it does indeed. And we're back. And this one changes as well. Nice, we did it. Dark mode. Check. And it's actually already persisted thanks to Redux and Redux persist. So let's do this. Let's double check whether I didn't make any stupid typos and stuff. Oh, this is so complicated. But at least it's type safe. Do I even need those? Oops. Does that work? It does. It does indeed. Good. And we have that one. And this one is also good. It's not the same one. So we can say feed settings, I suppose. And this is dark and light mode support. Then there's one more thing that I actually want to do, because it's called about page. Don't actually want to call it about page. I don't. Instead, we call this one settings screen. Settings. Might actually not load. Oh, it does. Perfect. Probably a designer would cry now, because it looks it looks weirdish, but nevertheless it does work enough for now. So we can That's actually a change, right? Feed settings, rename about to settings. Bams. Now we push some files from A to B so that things are ordered. There we go. 1. Anything else? Probably I have to save. Bams. That one. Anything else on that front? No. Seem to be. That one's empty. And that's it, I think. So, factor, settings, move files to settings there. And then we do the same, I think, with our questions. Save. Forget to save. Then this one too. Save. This one can be removed. Questions. Screen. Go over to there. Summary screen. Oh, wait. First save it. Summary screen. Go over to there. Save it. Statistics screen. Go over to. One still receives questions. This is not ideal. Well. Statistics. Maybe to do remove the dependency. So I'm thinking about whether we should be removing this dependency on // questions. Apparently also history. History is the most global one, I think. I think we're fine. Save all of it. Do this. Reload. Complete app. And let's see whether it still works. So this one seems to be working. Let's put in some numbers. Works. Also works. Then we go to statistics. Seems to be working too. Clear the history. Oh, that history is not visible here. You completed. Yeah, that's the wrong text. Import. We want the one from React Native paper. That's better. Settings. Also looking good. Can switch this. Nice. Awesome. So this is on the one hand a refactor, but also a fix due to. Yeah, it's fine. Let's do it as a refactor. Yeah. So this is refactor all. move pipes. It's 2 slices. Or maybe use cases. Use case directory. Yes. Fine. I think that's it. So we have history, which is just a global thing where everybody talks to. Questions, which is just the actual dailies. Screens, which is empty, you can remove with the settings, including the dark mode and stuff. And we have the statistics. Done. Bams. And then we push it to the limit. We push it. And in fact, I would like to see did I call it setting screen now? Yeah, I did. Version 1.5.0. In fact, jaw settings version bump. Be 1.5.0. Push, and then we release again OTA, deploy OTA prod, and then we should see the results in about 2 minutes, and I think we're done then for today. So we did a lot of stuff. All right, let's go back to the Trello board. I forgot to update again. We did fix the dark mode. We do not have the charts, but we refactored the file locations. So everything is in its right and proper place. Let's open this one and close it down. And hopefully this is still 1.4. We should see 1.5 here. It now says settings, it now says 1.5. There we go. And we're BAMS! We're in production with the dark mode. Good job, everybody. Nice. Have some tea. And also, we have this now. We can individually select which ones we want to see. Nice. Very, very, very good. We still need to probably change this color scheme, and well, the x-axis is still terrible, but I think that's something for another day. Then we can do some more fun stuff with chart lengths. So playing for only 1 week, or the last week, the last 30 days. Maybe I write it like this, the last 365 days, or over a complete lifetime, and charting all of that. It's going to be fun. We get some more, probably one select up here. All right then, I thank you so much. If you've liked what you've seen, this is the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host Mirko. If you've liked what you've seen, consider to follow particular to not miss. I'm not back to a regular schedule yet, I don't think, but I will be streaming from time to time in the near future again. So have a great day and goodbye, everybody. See you.